Let's take a tour of Secrets Akumal.
Hey everyone, Andy and Jenna from A Couple Travelers here, coming to you from Secrets Akumal, where we are bringing you a full walkthrough tour. This is our first Secrets resort. We've been loving it so far. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you know we cover a lot of sandals resorts.
Yes.
So we're very excited to be branching out into the world of Secrets.
Yes, Secrets is very similar to Sandals. Sandals is couples only, while Secrets is adults only, but it is still all-inclusive, and we've been having a stellar time so far. So we're gonna take you through the resort, we'll share some information, show you around, and let's go check it out.
So we are starting our tour today on the beach. For context, to the right here is the main pool area, but as you take this path down, you will come to the beach on the beautiful Gulf of Mexico. In case you were unaware, Secrets Akumal is in the Riviera Maya region of Mexico. Secrets does have a fair amount of resorts here in the country and in multiple countries around the world, but more or less their home base of operations is in Mexico with most of their resorts.
And right here we have one of the spots where you can have a wedding or vow renewal ceremony right on the beach. Really pretty. And then this beach is pretty much covered with nice chairs, and the chairs here are all cushioned, which is really nice, and they put towels on the bed for everybody. So if you see a towel all nicely rolled up like you do right in front of us, that means those chairs are up for grabs. And it's really when the towels are laid out and you see towel clips or something like that, or personal items, that means the chair is taken. But if you ever have trouble finding a chair in the location you want at the beach or by a specific pool, you can always ask one of the attendants. I actually saw them go and grab a chair from another pool and drag it over for a couple. So they really want you to be at your preferred location, which is really wonderful. So here's the beautiful water and the sunrise. We have some people cleaning up the seaweed. They do a really good job of trying to keep it as clear as possible. And then we have a nice buoyed section in the water. That's the area that you're allowed to swim within. We are coming up at the very edge of the Secrets property. It's where that sign is right there, and you'll see the chairs then change to a different color. That's a different property. And so right at the edge is where you're gonna find the Bali beds for rental. There are 3 different rows of beds, as you will see. The first row, at least at the time of our visit in April of 2024, the front row is $175, the second row is $100, and the back row is $75 US. That is for a 9 to 5 rental. You have butler service, and you also, for the first 2 rows, get a bottle with your rental as well. Really nice thing to consider getting if you are a beach person and want a nice reserved spot. So everything besides the Bali beds that we just showed is just normal first come, first serve. The rules at Secrets is that they really don't want you to leave your stuff and then be away for several hours. They want to make sure that when people come to the pool or the beach that they have a spot to sit and relax. So they do come in and check in. They ask that you really leave for no more than an hour. They'll know you'll go get food. You might have to go do something quick. You might go to the beach for an hour, but they don't want you to leave for, 2-3 hours when someone might need the spot, which I actually like, because there's nothing more frustrating than being at a resort and seeing that somebody had towel clips on a chair and you never saw them all day, and you're in the back row or couldn't find anything.
Yeah. So. On our first full day here, one of the pool concierges came up to us and presented us with that information, and they did it in a very nice way. So it was nice that they kind of regulated here a little bit, as opposed to some other resorts where we've been to where it's more of a different system.
And both the beach and the pools they all have full wait service as well. So constantly somebody coming by asking if you need drinks, if you need to order food. So it's a great thing. You really are pretty much pampered here. So in case you didn't know, Akumal actually translates to place of turtle in Mayan. And one of the great things about this resort is that you can see sea turtles while you are swimming. So if you're just part of the resort and you have a snorkel mask that you brought from home, you can go into the buoyed area here on the beach and look for sea turtles yourselves. But in addition, they also offer a tour through the resort. It's $49 a person, at least when we were here on our stay, and they will take you out. It's about an hour, but you go past the buoyed section to a protected reef where a lot of the turtles are, and you have this experience.
Moving further down the beach here, we do have the beach volleyball court. The staff will come in and set up a net during the day, so any of the guests could play a game. Right behind it, you have the main pool area. And then turning to the right, you have one of the photo spots, which is your swing. It has a little phrase up top, wish you were here at Secrets Akumal Resort, which is their social handle. And then what's really cool is that they have this selfie stand. So you could put your phone on it, set the timer on, and then you could take a selfie of you sitting on the swing.
That is the most ingenious thing I've ever seen. So right past this really tall tree, a little bit further back is the end of the resort where the volley beds were. So all of this is the ocean. And then right up ahead, you'll see the black sign. That is the other edge of the Secrets property. And right by that, you're gonna find the beach bar, which has the really fun swings.
So Jenna mentioned the beach bar with the swings. This will be open later in the day when people are out at the beach. And then turning to the left towards the main pool area, each entrance of the beach does have its own shower area, so you can rinse off your feet before you get to the pool. Now walking into the awesome main pool area. As you would expect, there are multiple jacuzzis here at the resort, and then right beyond that, you have the swim up bar. So this is the pool at the most front part of the resort. The beach is right there behind the bushes to the left. And this is where most of your activities will take place during the day. We'll get into it a little bit later, but I think out of all the resorts we've been to, we've been most impressed with the level of entertainment and activities here at Secrets. For context, they had an in the water spin class, they had bingo the other day, they had authentic Mexican music playing yesterday, they had a DJ, they had just Mexican yard games. They're very good with acknowledging the culture here. Obviously, the staff who works here are locals, so they're just in casual conversation, bringing up things from their childhood and just, you know, little bits and pieces about the Mexican culture, which is very, very cool.
And again, back to the staff. They're very, very attentive, and they even blew up 4 ginormous pool floats for us. The pools here do not provide floats, so as frequent sandals visitors, we were used to having floats and knew that we really liked them in a pool, so we brought our own. They happily blew it up for us, which was really wonderful.
I mentioned before the pool concierge. We've said a couple times already in the video how great and attentive the staff is here. I think that's a really awesome thing that Secrets offers. Each concierge oversees a certain area of the pool, and then they have a couple of wait staff that kind of work with them to bring you drinks, to bring you food, things like that. We were just getting to our chairs in the morning, and Oceana, our concierge the other day, made it to a point to come right over to us, introduce himself, let us know that he's here for anything that we may need. And it was just a really nice way to know that you kind of have that white glove, all-inclusive service while you're hanging out by the pool. A real nice feature of the pools here at Secrets Akumal, they have these little coves. So we were sitting in some of the chairs in this section the other day, and so we just kind of had like our nice private cove to us. Friendly tip though, the third step down is a pretty large one. You can't tell from on top here, but when you're in the water, that is a pretty big step down. So just be mindful of that.
My dad and I were actually entering at the same time. We both like kind of fell into each other's. Okay, so for perspective, here's the main pool. And if we turn over to the right, we're gonna have the first of the 9 restaurants here at Secrets Akumal. And if you're interested, we are gonna be putting up a full food overview video that'll go more detail into the restaurants, when they're open, types of cuisine, etc., and actually show some of the food that we have. but for the purposes of this, just gonna kind of give a really quick overview. So this is Barefoot Grill. It is open for lunch from noon to 4. It is also a bar, just some place to order like salads and burgers and such. If you are actually sitting by the pool, you'll order the food from Barefoot Grill through your attendant for the day.
You can come up right here to this section and order drinks. You could also order drinks through the waitstaff as well, but any food, they ask that you order that through the waitstaff. To the right of Barefoot Grill, you have the pizza station. This is what many might consider a staple to an all-inclusive resort. Nice brick oven for the pizza station here. They had a couple standard options the other day. Your margarita pizza, your cheese pizza. I think there was a vegetable option as well. The pizza here is delicious. Probably some of the best that I've had at any of the resorts that we've been to. So just a nice option while you're hanging out by the pool. Another thing that's really impressive about Secrets Akumal is the other types of lunch options they have, and just other general activities by the pool. So I believe in this section the other day they had a chicken wing station, and then yesterday they had a pineapple bar. They carved out the pineapples, they had your different pina coladas, and then in that far section over there, we'll get to that restaurant in a second, they had a full barbecue set up the other day. So Secrets does an incredible job of just giving you just random free food around the resort. It kind of reminds me when we were in college and you just kind of stumble across free food. So really impressed to see them investing in those culinary options here.
So moving further along, this is the second of 3 pools. All of the pools are very large here. This was, according to the map, deemed the activity pool, but every activity we saw actually happened at the main pool, which they're very, very close together. So all of the pools here is gonna be a little bit on the louder side. There is a quiet pool we'll show you later, but this is kind of like the main area. The main pool has a swim up bar, and then this one, which is right near Barefoot Grill, another bar, is a little bit quieter, a little bit more chill, but definitely not a completely silent vibe.
I think overall this is one of my favorite pool experiences we've come across at any of the resorts we've stayed at, between the concierge and the different wait staff and just the activities and the kind of surprise and delight food options you'll see. It just really creates a nice environment for you to hang out. The phrase that kind of comes to my head is there's something around every corner here. Even the other night, our first full night here, we were lucky to experience the Akum Art experience, which is one of the nightly activities they have every Wednesday, and they bring in a lot of local artisans and craftsmen to sell some of their handmade goods. And even just walking around that experience, they had just different desserts set up on tables. They had churros and donuts and other pastries, and obviously bars, and they had some barbecue stations. Secrets does a really, really nice job of kind of giving you some of those offerings that you might not expect to find at a resort.
All right, we've arrived at our next restaurant, which is Oceana, and this is a seafood restaurant that's open for dinner only. There are 2 different types of dress codes. The majority of restaurants, especially dinners, are what's called casual elegance, where the main thing to note is that gentlemen need to wear long pants and some sort of a nicer shoe. They can't really wear flip-flops, but they can wear dress shoes, boat shoes, dress sandals, that sort of thing. Everywhere else is casual. And the cool thing about Oceana is they actually have events. We were here the other day. They had a 100-pound tuna that was really fresh, and they showed how they cut everything up, and they gave samples of different parts of the tuna. It was a really, really fun experience, really fresh fish, and that was just kind of one of the poolside activities for the day. So again, they're always feeding you, always entertaining you here. We're gonna head over to the restaurant on the other side of this second pool, pick it up from there.
So right across from the activity pool, in this kind of hidden area back here, we have a little bit of a hidden jacuzzi. Really, really nice. Among all the greenery at the resort, some nice Adirondack chairs going around the outside, and your jacuzzi there in the middle. So for reference, that jacuzzi we just showed you is over here. Turning to the left, we have our next restaurant, which is Seaside.
So Seaside Grill is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The thing to note is that for breakfast, it is for preferred club guests only. So here at the resort, rooms fall into two different categories. You just have the regular suites, and then you have preferred club. And with preferred club, you get a lot of different and additional amenities, one of which is a exclusive breakfast here at Seaside Grill. But some of the other amenities are access to a preferred club lounge. You have daily continental breakfast in the lounge. In the afternoon, you have hot and cold hors d'oeuvres, different desserts, and you have a little bit of an upgrade in liquor in the lounge as well. You also get upgraded mini bar, some upgraded bath amenities, and the best perk, I think, of Preferred Club is that you get complimentary access to the hydrotherapy circuit at the spa, which we'll show a little bit later. You get that once per stay, but that is a nice little perk of being Preferred Club. So a lot of the buildings that are closest to the beach are the Preferred Club rooms, and then kind of further back, you'll get more into the basic room. So we're in building 8, which is by the lobby since we're not Preferred Club, but the top floor of the building has some partial ocean views, so you still have really, really nice rooms. You'll be able to see a full tour of our room, which was the Junior Suite King Tropical View room. And then we also showed the view from my parents' room who are also on this trip. They did the Junior Suite King Partial Ocean View room. So you'll be able to see the rooms are similar, the views are just really the main difference, but every single building has its own concierge on the ground floor. They are very helpful. You can text with them on WhatsApp, so make sure you download that before you come in addition to the Hyatt All-Inclusive app. They will be able to handle whatever it is that you need.
Coming on to the other side of Seaside Grill, you have Bar Seaside. Pretty much 3 bars in this main pool area, which is great. Right next to Seaside, you have, I forget the actual formal name for this, but I'll put it on the screen. This is an extension of like the gift shop. So when the pool's open, they have suntan lotion being sold here. They have some t-shirts, some other souvenirs, so you don't have to walk all the way back to the gift shop to get something if you're hanging out by the pool. So really great idea. So here's the gift shop. You have Seaside Grill, you have the main pool area, and then turning further to the left, we're going to head back to the back part of the resort where you have a few different things. The back part of the resort is all through the mangroves here at Secrets Akumal, so it's very jungly. It's our 3rd full day here. We're still trying to find our way around a little bit. So it's great that they have some maps located along the resort, as well as just these signs to help you find your way.
But one of the great things about this resort is all of the different paths. If you look to the left, you have like the hanging hearts. You'll come across these cute lit pathways with dangling lights and hammocks. It's just whatever route you choose to go from A to B, it's gonna be really pretty, and it's been one of my favorite things to just explore.
Like we said before, there's something new around every corner here, quite literally.
So we'll take this path until we arrive at Market Cafe. They also, right here to the right, have a little station where spa attendants set up and can answer questions about the spa and help you book that as well. The spa attendants have been walking around the pool, so you never have to really go far to be able to book your lovely spa treatments. Up first in this section, we have our next restaurant, which is Market Cafe. This is actually the buffet at Secrets Akumal, and it is open for breakfast and lunch. And I will say this is probably one of the largest buffets we've seen at a resort. For breakfast especially, which is what we've tried the last couple of days, it really is the only main breakfast spot. You have this, you'll have the coffee shop, which I'll show you, and then you also, of course, have room service. All rooms, regardless of which one you book, will have 24/7 room service, and it is a very decent menu. It can get a little busy, especially here in the morning at certain times. We've never had to wait long for a table at all, but they also have a nice station out front where you can sip on some coffee and have a couple of pastries while you're waiting for your table, which is a nice little perk.
As we walk to our next location, this is the far end of the Market Cafe, coming out to a nice open area here with some seating and some water features. Right next to Market Cafe, we have Desires. Desires is the nightclub at the resort. It is open in the evening for a few hours. So if you want to go dancing, listen to the DJ play some music, this is where you can do that. So we just walked up the steps to Desires. You have some outdoor seating, which is covered right now to protect it when it's not being used. And then the main venue is through these doors. Get some great views of the resort from up here as well. Inside you have some restrooms, and then this is the actual main nightclub. So you have some booths and tables going around the perimeter. You have a bar and some TVs there, disco ball, dance floor, more tables and chairs. And then here in the corner, you have the DJ booth. So for perspective, Desires is back here on your left. Heading down this path, you come to our next restaurant, which is El Patio. If we are in Mexico, it makes sense to have an authentic Mexican restaurant. And we got to eat here the other night and it was fantastic.
Yes, it's open for dinner only. Great food, as Andy said. And then also this is where we came yesterday to do a tequila tasting. It doesn't actually happen in El Patio. It happened, at least for us, we were a group of 6, inside the chef's table, which is in the kitchen shared between El Patio and Market Cafe. Highly, highly recommend the tequila tasting. They do a free tasting once a week. For us, it was on Saturday, which we couldn't do. So we did a paid version. There was one that was $150 per couple, which is what we did. And then there's a little bit of an elevated one that was $330 per couple, but we found it highly worth it. It was about 5 shots worth of tequila. There was some food to accompany it. You had a sommelier who talked you through everything. It was just a nice, fun experience for Mexico itself.
So coming out of El Patio, this is actually the area where they had the Akumal experience set up the other night. Actually, one of the areas. It took up a good part of the resort. In this area right here, you can kind of see these spheres. They have some light ropes around them. This whole area is kind of lit up. So Jenna was talking about some of the different Instagrammable moments on property. This is certainly one of them at night. Continuing on with the eateries, next up on the list is Coco Cafe.
Now, Coco Cafe is actually open for 24 hours. It is a coffee shop, so you can get all of your specialty coffees, both hot and iced. Had a really good iced mocha latte there. And then they have some grab and go items as well. So sandwiches, some pastries, they have soft pretzels, and they also sell some like souvenir glasses in here as well. Really nice seating outside and a nice menu, a good spot you can come 24/7.
So Coco Cafe is here through the trees. Turning to our right, you have one of the gift shops here. So you have some swimwear inside, you have some other Secrets branded apparel. They have some suntan lotion for sale inside. They have sunglasses. So this is more of like your boutique store. And then they have another location which is more of your typical sundries and things like that.
What we are showing now, this is kind of a circle building. So it's like it started with the Market Cafe, then El Patio, and now the different various gift shops, and it kind of goes into one giant circle.
Next to the gift shop, you have your jewelry store. So with this being an adults only resort, you have some expendable income, could spend it at the jewelry store. Really nice inside, a lot of different options.
Then right next door, you have our next restaurant, which is Himitsu, an Asian restaurant. So this is open for dinner only, and they have 2 separate offerings here. You can do hibachi, which is the one thing that you need to make a dining reservation for. All the other restaurants are completely first come, first serve. It kind of takes the pressure off of making reservations. And then the other thing is you can come to Himitsu and not do the hibachi and just order off their sushi or regular dinner menu.
So continuing on from Himitsu, you have the next of the gift shops. So as I mentioned before, this is where you'll have more of your sundries and souvenirs. So a lot of different Mexican inspired design goods. Inside, you have some more suntan lotion in here. You also have some medicine, some snacks, other sunglasses, so just a good option to have at the resort.
They also sell pool floats here. So if you want to buy a float and then ask for the pool attendant to blow it up, that's an option. They also sell snorkeling masks. So if you aren't able to do the sea turtle tour and you just want to go into the ocean and the buoyed section and look for sea turtles yourself, you can buy masks here. You can also pay $4 on the beach to rent snorkel gear if you want to go out through the beach. And with that, you need to remember to bring the $4 and to bring an ID with you as well. And they'll give you the snorkel equipment to go to the beach.
So for perspective, the gift shop we just showed you is back down this path. Continuing on with the help of more of these great signs, because you can get lost very easily here. We're going to head next to the spa as well as the Showtime Theater. We'll talk about it more when we get there, but we mentioned previously in the video how great the entertainment and activities team here is at Secrets. A really cool tip is you have access to the Hyatt All-Inclusive app even before you arrive at the resort. So before you get on property, you can check the app for different entertainment offerings, show times to start planning your stay. Obviously, all of that is subject to change when you get to the resort. For example, they have this fire show, and the other night it was raining, so unfortunately they had to move it indoors, but they were still able to accommodate the show. They just didn't have the upcharge barbecue dinner that went alongside that, that they were offering people by the pool.
So we were over here by the kind of the circle building that was El Patio, Market Cafe, Himitsu, over by Coco Cafe. And then we walked through building 7 and through building 9. And we just arrived here at the tennis court. So we're in the back section of the resort. We started up here with the beach and kind of went through here, this way, and are now at the tennis courts.
Here are your tennis courts. One here on the right, then you have another one right next to it. And then it looks like this is where you could also come for the bike tour, offered Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9:30 a.m. Just another great activity option here at Secrets Akumal. Leaving the tennis courts, next stop on our tour is the Showtime Theater, which is right up this path here. So we just came from the tennis courts, up this hall. Here we are at the Showtime Theater. Really great entertainment here at Secrets, like we mentioned. They had a Beatles tribute the other night, and they actually had a actual yellow submarine set up here in the lobby area. And then walking inside, you can see really nice space. Probably a couple hundred seats inside here. They had the stage set for last night's show. It was like a Cirque du Soleil style cabaret. You had some acrobats going on. We actually haven't had the chance to do any of the shows here yet. I think that's just a testament to how much there is to do at the resort. But if you do want to see any of those shows, you can do so here at the theater. And then in the back corner here, you have a pool table to hang out before the show. And then on the opposite side, you do have a bar. So if you want to grab a drink, you could do so there.
So next to the Showtime Theater, heading back to the very end of the resort, you're gonna have the convention area and some meeting rooms. So this resort is able to handle conventions, meetings, weddings, and those are gonna be those back buildings. But the majority of guests coming here probably don't interact in that area, so we're not gonna go show it. We're just gonna continue on. But we have this beautiful courtyard here, and right across the way, opposite from the theater, we're gonna come to the spa. Right in front of us, we have the theater, and then right over here, we're going to come upon the spa and the gym. So at the Secret Spa by Pavonia, you can do facials, massages, hair, nails, etc. Your typical spa. When we arrived, we actually got a couple of coupons for the resort, one of which was a set amount off any spa services. They also were running a promotion that if you bought a massage, you got a free mini facial. So it's always good to ask if you're interested in the spa what promotions they're currently running. And then in addition, they do have that hydrotherapy circuit at the spa. And then right next door to the spa, we have the gym, which has some typical cardio and weight machines in there. What I first noticed when I went in is how good it smells in there, which is a weird thing to say about a gym, but it almost smelled better than the spa lobby, which I was pretty shocked about. I said that to the attendant. I'm like, it smells really good in here. So good to know that even when it is packed like this, it's gonna be a nice environment. So looking out at the courtyard, you had the spa and fitness center on the left. You had the convention center in front, and you had the theater to the right. And then turning to this beautiful arch thing that we're under, you're gonna first come upon adventure photos. So this is where you can schedule photo sessions at the resort, and then they do offer photo packages as well for any of the photos that you would like to purchase. On the other side, we come across the wedding center. So inside they had different samples of the tablecloths and the settings, and it would be where you come to finalize your last minute details for your wedding or vow renewal ceremony while you're here at Secrets Akumal. If you were interested in getting married at Secrets or simply coming on vacation to any of the Secrets resorts, I did want to mention that I am a travel agent and I can help you with that. I'll put my email address in the video description below, but feel free to reach out with questions or to get a no obligation quote. It is completely free to work with a travel agent and I'd love to help you out.
So behind these trees here is where we just were at the wedding center and the photo studio. And now we are coming across the last of the 3 pool areas here at Secrets Akumal. This is technically the quiet pool. So no activities or anything crazy happening during the day. This is a place for you to chill out and just enjoy a wonderful day in Mexico.
And for reference, it is 8:15 in the morning and about 90% of the chairs by this pool are still available. So as I mentioned, if the towels are rolled up like this, they're fair game. So we just crossed over from the other side of the pool, which, I mean, you get to see just how big all the pools are on this property. Wanted to point out, this pool actually has a Bali bed for rental. I mean, that seems like a pretty good spot to spend the day.
Oh yeah. Right next to the quiet pool, you have Halftime Sports Bar. This is where you're gonna come to watch any games. Looks like they have ESPN going right now with some tennis and some soccer, some basketball. You obviously have your bar here on the left. You also have a pool table inside and some bar stools, some high top tables, so just a good place to get a drink. They also have a small food menu here as well if you want to get a pub style snack. And if you're hanging out here wanting to plan the rest of your evening, they do have an entertainment board up on the other side there, going through all the different activities and entertainment at Secrets Akumal.
And for perspective, right on the other side of this bar, we'd end up back at Coco Cafe. So we just kind of did a loop around. Right. So we're back toward the center of the resort. One last thing I wanted to mention before we leave this pool area is that over here they actually have ping pong, super fun, and then they have this station as well, which has been at all of the pools first thing in the morning, and I just thought it was such a unique touch. So they have some books, so people can actually feel free to leave books when they finish them. You are able to take and read these. They have some cold towels, tissues, and then they actually have an ice bucket filled with water bottles just to get a little something by all the pools to get your day started.
And on the point of paying it forward, you can leave books here like Jenna mentioned. You could also leave your pool floats. So those are a pretty big extra weight to your luggage when you're traveling. So if you don't want to bring those back home with you, you can offer them to another guest who's staying here. We actually saw some people do that yesterday. We plan to do that as well, just to kind of make sure other people have floats who might not have brought them.
We just walked over from the 3rd pool, the quiet pool right here, and now we are at the lobby. The lobby is actually on the 2nd floor of this building, but then there are things on this 1st floor that we will walk the circle around and show you before we head up and finish out the tour at the lobby. First, over to the left, you're gonna have the Rendezvous Bar. So you have a lot of seating over here, including some awesome swing love seats. And then right inside is the bar. In the evening, this is a great spot to get a drink before or after dinner. They have servers walking around, and last night when we were sitting here, they had an electric violinist. So always, as we mentioned, always being entertained here, and this was just a lovely spot.
So that is the Rendezvous Bar. We have the quiet pool through here. Lobby is up here to our left. And before we show you the 2 restaurants, this is super cool. You have a scale model of Secrets Akumal. So this gives you some really great perspective of just how long the resort is. So the actual main road is back here at the other end of the model, and you take this really nice driveway down through the mangroves to get to the lobby. So this kind of circle area where we're looking at right now, this is actually where we are at the resort. And then this is everything that we've seen so far. So the beach, the main pools, all the other areas, the courtyard with the theater and the spa and the gym is all back here. And then ending up the tour here at the lobby.
So here we have Bordeaux, which is the French restaurant at the resort, and it is open for dinner only. We are actually eating here tonight, so can't say too much about the food as of yet, but it looks really nice inside. And right next to Bordeaux, we have the last of the 9 restaurants at the resort. This is Portofino. Portofino is an Italian restaurant that is open for dinner. We actually ate here on our first night, and it was a fantastic meal. everyone really loved what they enjoyed. Andy said it was the best carbonara he's ever had. Definitely put this one on your list.
And great presentation here too when they brought out our entrees. All the wait staff lifted the covers off the food in a nice kind of display, so that was a nice touch.
We felt really fancy.
Last note about the restaurants is that Portofino and Bordeaux both have outdoor seating. So Bordeaux and Portofino are down here, and then heading up to the main lobby up this big staircase here.
So down that hallway on the right is where you're dropped off. We will show you down there shortly, but in this part of the lobby, this is where you come when you are checking in. It's also where you come if you have any questions. There's a concierge desk here, and this is also where you find the Amstar desk as well if you want information on excursions and to actually book your excursions if you haven't done that before you come to the resort. And as I mentioned, the excursion desk, that is through Amstar. That is also who we booked our transportation through to go to and from the airport. So we booked the round trip, and before we left, we gave them our flight information and they knew when to expect us when we needed a ride here. Then within 24 hours of arriving at the resort, you should come see the Amstar representative and schedule your departing shuttle to head back to the airport on your last day. So leaving the main lobby, you have this corridor, and as you can see, there are people departing right now. So this is where the shuttle dropped us off when we arrived. We were greeted with cold towels. They had us point out our luggage to be sent to our room, and then they escorted us inside the lobby to check in. So this is where you'll be dropped off and begin your vacation.
It was an extremely organized check-in process.
Very organized. And we showed up, we were a group of 6, so we had 3 different rooms. Could have gotten complicated, and everything was very smoothly handled.
So that was our full walkthrough tour of Secrets Akumal. We absolutely love this resort. And with this being our first Secrets, I certainly think you could expect much more Secrets content coming to the channel here.
Absolutely. We have been fully blown away by this, and it's been so different than some of the Caribbean resorts we've been to. It's just a totally different vibe, and we felt that even though we had booked literally the cheapest room at the resort, don't feel like there's like a class system here. Right. Everyone kind of feels the same, and it has been a wonderful, wonderful trip. So highly recommend this resort. And again, if you're interested in coming, send me an email. I'd love to work with you.
But that is everything we have for you today. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and follow us on social media at A Couple Travelers.
And until next time, keep traveling.